Making new friends at 60 and beyond can feel remarkably daunting, but it's actually one of the most rewarding chapters for social connection. Let's chat about that today. They say that 60 is the new 40, right? I know we've all heard it, but no one tells you that the social landscape changes drastically. And if you've looked around lately and realized that your tribe, your circle, has thinned out due to retirement or relocation or just life drifting, you're absolutely not alone. There is a loneliness epidemic among seniors. Now, a large part of that is the fact that we are the largest demographic, okay? And when you're looking at the former latchkey kids who learned how to do everything alone, a lot of us have, figured out that that's when we're the most comfortable. There's no conflict, there's no arguments, but there are a lot of things that we're missing. When we get up to this age, we no longer have the forced proximity, of the office or school or kids. We have to be intentional about getting out there and meeting people, because it's way too easy to just hunker down here at home. Today isn't just about meeting people, though. It's about finding our circle and people who share your values and your pace of life. And my caveat here is that you're not going to find, potentially, you might. And if you do, you kind of hit the lottery. But, don't expect to find a person who is going to match you 100%. It's kind of like a marriage or anything else. There's going to be people that you have things in common with, but not other things. And maybe you've got a friend, or you know somebody, or you meet somebody that you have a couple of things in common with, but oh my gosh, keep them out of my kitchen. There isn't just one person. The whole purpose of a circle is that it's multiple people, and you connect with those people differently, different levels, different topics, different ideals, different things. You're not looking for that perfect match to complement you, but you are looking for that circle of people who engage you and who are basically there for you, and you're there for them. It's not a one-way street. So at 60, everyone is kind of secretly hoping that the other person is going to be the first one to say hello. You lose the skill, or maybe you lost the desire and then you lost the skill for how to, talk to people, how to engage with strangers. And it is a skill. It is something that, over time, potentially you may have or may not have learned. But it is something that's necessary. There is a 10-hour rule, okay? And it shows that it takes about 50 hours to make a casual friend and 200 hours to make a close friend. So think about that. You're not going to go out one day and suddenly have a circle, This is something that you have to build on. And hopefully this sets some realistic expectations for you. I left an area when I moved to this location, or this area. When I left where I left a tight circle of friends, and woman friends even, So it was the circle that I met for coffee, or that I, went shopping with, or that we did different, there was different things with different people. And then I came up here and I was literally alone. And it took years, literal years, before I made friends, because you are the outsider coming in, especially if you move into a small town, then everybody knows each other. They've been together since birth most of the time. And then who are you? And what, And so I had to go out and make the effort, create the environments at which I would meet people. And some of them stuck and a lot of them didn't. And then when I was getting ready to make my next major life change, I wandered into a local store and I started talking to them. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I had my circle. And it was not really intentional, but it is so loved and so appreciated because of our commonality that was brought together in that one location. We were able to expand on that and create what I feel are some lasting relationships. And not all of us are the same age. It's such a wide range of demographics that it's kind of mind-boggling sometimes how it works. But sometimes all it takes is that one thing, and sometimes it takes years, So understanding that it takes 50 hours to make a casual friend or 200 hours to make a close friend, knowing that expectation, setting that expectation makes a difference so that you're not disappointed, frustrated, whatever, and stop trying. Because having friends is important. Now, I'm always about the low-hanging fruit, Go for the easy stuff first. The stuff that you like to do. Are there any book clubs? Are you an avid reader? Go hang out at the library. Look at the programs that they have. See if they have a book club. If they don't have one, see about maybe starting one, Gardening. Do you love to garden? Is there a gardening club in the area that you could become part of? Walking, hiking groups, that kind of thing. It's a great way to meet people. If there's an exercise class that you would love to take, being by yourself is not a big thing. A lot of people go to those by themselves. And so that's a great way to meet more people who enjoy doing the same thing that you enjoy doing. This is the low-hanging fruit, the stuff that you already enjoy doing. You just have to go and find those environments where other people who enjoy doing that are also. And that means leaving the house, I know. If you are lucky enough to live in an area where there's a major university, many universities offer free or low-cost audits for seniors, which means you can go take the class and you can interact with people. Shut the front door, I know, right? It's awesome. I really wish that was here. Now, there's also cooking or language classes that you can look for. They're in all different kinds of places. There used to be adult ed classes. I know here they don't happen anymore, but maybe they do where you are. Something to look into. Focus on roles where you interact with other people, and volunteering. If you are, like the last video, going out and volunteering someplace, then you want to focus on roles where you interact with other people. Not just perform tasks in isolation because you're already doing that, So this gets you out and talking with people. Now, technology has helped a lot of older people. And it's something, we're doing it right now, right? There was a point when I didn't live up here, where I lived downstate, and it was more of an urban area. And I used meetup.com and created a meetup for knitters, and we met at a coffee shop once a week. And we'd all just sit there, drink way too much espresso, and knit. And it was great. We would just sit there and talk about whatever, but we had that commonality of knitting. So check out meetup.com. Be cautious, always, okay? You can search for, active 60 plus or knitting groups or reading, whatever you're into, look for, or if it's not there, create it. And it's a place where, it's a website where you can go to and then create opportunities to meet up at public locations. Do it safe. Safety's first, okay? Facebook groups. Now, these are kind of catch as catch can. It really depends because there's a lot of them that are pure garbage. But if you search for local neighborhood groups or specific niche interests, right? like, 60 plus travelers, maybe. It's a great way to talk to people, to swap ideas, to share ideas. But again, that is online and that is not a face-to-face kind of relationship. So it's a launching pad though. And then, pardon me, there's different ways online, to get to know people potentially in real life. Always safety first when you're doing anything online. Now, the first move strategy, especially if you're not used to it, okay? 3-question rule. There's a 3-question rule that you can kick into play, and it's fantastic, okay? How to start a conversation with anybody without feeling awkward. Because it's amazing how many of us reached this age and are still awkward or shy, uncomfortable meeting new people, and there's various reasons for it, but 3 things that you can do. 1, observe. Pay attention. All you have to do is pay attention. I'm a lifelong people watcher. And if you pay attention, you can notice different things and you can talk about different things. Or maybe there's something about you that somebody says, and talks to you. They're starting the conversation first. That's cool. So observe, pay attention. Number 2, ask. Just ask a question. I get stopped on a weekly basis, because really I only go out a couple times a week, but on something as simple as my hair from literally every generation out there, okay? And something like that is just, they will come up and say, oh my gosh, I love your hair. Where do you get it done? And we'll start talking. It's a catalyst. It's a start. And so if you notice something about somebody else that you really like, that you admire, A, you're going to make their day, okay? But B, it's a chance to start a conversation and maybe to continue that conversation. Number 3 is to reveal. While you're talking to them, don't give them your life story, okay? But, oh gosh, and we're going to go with the hair, okay? But, oh gosh, I love your hair. I wonder if that's something that I could do because I've always had issues with my hair. It's that simple. Oh my goodness, where did you find that? Because that would make my life so much easier. Just reveal little something, okay? Again, not a life story, just, oh, that would be fantastic. I've got to fix this and I'm looking for this kind of solution. Oh, it's the little things. So drill it down. Don't overthink it. Overthinking is going to be the thing that really gets you the most, But you can do it. I have faith in you. Move when you meet some people, there's a way to move from a group to one-on-one, because meeting a group of people is fantastic. You kind of don't have to rely on one person. You can figure out who you seem to be hitting it off with the best. But then how to go one-on-one, how to go one-to-one with that. I'm having a great time talking to you. Would you want to meet me for coffee one day? We'll go out here and we'll just have coffee, or we'll go here and we'll have lunch. How to bridge the gap from seeing someone in a class to meeting for lunch. In a meetup to, hey, do you want to meet up on this day? Or, hey, would you like to join me for this? It's just that simple. I would love the opportunity to talk to you some more. Is there a good time? Would you be interested in meeting up? If they say no, it's not a deal breaker, guys, okay? Because maybe they're busy. Maybe they have something going on. Don't take it personally. Just try again with somebody else, or try again later with them, depending on what they say. Learning how to be a good friend is important. Because it's not all about me. It's not all about you, Being a good friend requires active listening. Active listening. Sometimes people just need somebody to hear them, and they're not necessarily looking for a solution, but sometimes they just need someone to talk to. And being an active listener, not only half listening because you're trying to formulate a response, that's not cool. But actively listening to them, you will make them feel recognized, and in turn, they might do the same for you. It's important. There are so many places where you can meet people. You can go to classes. You can go to the library. You can, go hiking with groups. You can go on meetup.com or Facebook groups that are local. You can, volunteer in different places. So many different things that you can do to meet people. You may not find your best friend forever, but you may find people that you enjoy spending time with. That alone is going to literally add years to your life, knowing that you're not alone, because most people don't want to be alone, even if they say they do. They want to feel seen. They want to feel heard. And at some point, maybe they weren't. And so they just said, you know what, I'm just going to stay alone because I don't need the headache. And while I get it, and I respect the feeling, we all do better when there's somebody to touch base with. We need to remember that our social life is not over as we hit 60 and beyond. It's definitely not over. It's just starting. It's being reassigned, different areas, different focuses. It's not the, oh God, I work with them, I have to talk to them. You have more wisdom to offer than you ever did before. Ever. You're smarter now than you've ever been. Don't let that go to waste. Spend time with people, talk to people. It's very rewarding. It can also be frustrating, but it's very rewarding. So in the comment section, let me know where are you going to try to go and meet some new friends, to make some new friends? What kind of ideas do you have for this? Is this something that you're interested in delving farther into? Let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, everybody, stay active, stay curious, and let's make this next chapter count.